The Paracave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leisure Club, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, BTZD Clothing, and the official media partner of the Paracave Podcast, the Parramatta Times.
G'day, it's Gus Walland here from Gotcha for Life and Triple M. I'd love to invite you along to the Mental Fitness Gym. Go to the mentalfitnessgym.org. That is a place where you can pick up some exercises to build your mental fitness, to work on that emotional muscle, those muscles in your head that are so powerful. Please come and join us at the mentalfitnessgym.org for all that stuff to build your emotional muscle and your mental fitness.
Welcome to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Paracave.
And today on the podcast, going to do a NRLW review of the prelim finals and a little bit of a preview of the NRLW Grand Final, also happening on Sunday. And joining me once again is special guest Kiana Takairangi. How are you going, Kiana?
Hey Troy, I'm good, thanks. How are you going?
Fantastic, and looking forward to Sunday, that is for sure. Our grand finalists in the NRLW have been decided. The Sharks are taking on the Roosters, but before we get to that, let's review the prelim finals between the Broncos and the Sharks, and it was the Sharks who got up 14 points to nil in a bit of an upset.
Yeah, it was a really good game and a massive upset, as you mentioned. I don't think the Broncos have ever been held scoreless. So a bit of a shock to them, I'm sure. But the Sharks just had a really strong defensive game, I thought. And, they capitalised on a couple of opportunities that they got. Low-scoring game, but... they came over the top of the Broncos, who just seemed to be a little bit rattled, to be honest. They didn't seem to throw too much at the Sharks. I don't think they were expecting the Sharks to play as well as they did.
Yeah, it certainly was an upset. I mean, the Sharks, they lost their last three. The Broncos had won their last six. So nobody, I guess, sort of saw this coming. The Broncos had confidence going into that game. But as you said, just the defence of the Sharks really stood up. And I think the Broncos, they left their run a little bit late in the game trying to score points.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. And like you said, the Sharks had lost their previous three games, so they were really needing to put on a good, strong performance. And it was really good to see them get that win over the Broncos and heading to the grand final for the first time.
Yes, they've only been in the competition 2 years, and first time they made the finals and first time into the grand final, so we wish them luck. Captain Tiana Penatani scored the first try, and probably the centre of the year, probably in the NRLW, Anessa Biddle scored the second try. She played an outstanding game, both in attack and defence.
Yeah, Anessa Biddle, she's a beast. She's such a strong runner. And super strong in defence as well. But she does a lot of work for the Sharks, especially getting out of their own end. And, it was really good to see her get over the line there for that second try because, she's a beast on the field and she's a great person off it. So really good to see.
How much confidence will they have going into this game against the Roosters? Because the Roosters gave them a little bit of a touch-up a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they put, 40 or 44 points on them a few weeks ago. But the Sharks will be really confident, especially after the weekend. If they can, have that same defence that they showed on the weekend, this weekend against the Roosters, I think they'll give themselves a really good shot to come away with a win. So, really excited for the Sharks.
And just on the Broncos, what do you think of their season that they've just had? Obviously disappointed to be knocked out in the finals after becoming minor premiers.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed for sure. We saw some really good games for them in the lead up to the semi-final, but unfortunately just wasn't their day on the weekend. They couldn't seem to put it together. The Sharks did a really good job at shutting down some of their key attacking weapons, especially like Mele Hufanga. I don't think she saw much ball. I think she only had 7 runs for about 60 metres, whereas you look at the centres on the other side for the Sharks, I think both girls, in Tiana and Anessa, were, up over 140 metres, I think it was each. So, it makes it hard. Again, you just got to give credit to the Sharks and their defence. I think, the Broncos just weren't expecting the Sharks to be so strong, I think.
That's it. And their opponents will be the Roosters, who took on the Knights, the 2-time premiers, going for that three-peat. This game being played at Allianz Stadium. You were on the sideline for ABC Sport. The Roosters won that game 25 points to 16. What were your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I thought the Knights were probably lucky to get that last try, and I think the score makes the game sound like it was a lot closer than it actually was, because the Roosters were really in control the whole game. The Knights just struggled to kind of make the most of their opportunities. They had some poor fifth tackle options. I think Jessie might have kicked 3, 7 tackle sets. So, three dead balls over the dead ball line, which obviously gives the Roosters, good field position to start their sets. And, I just thought the Roosters were really sharp. It was good to see Taranay come back in the team for them after being out for a couple of weeks with a shoulder injury, but she was massive for them. I thought her and Sammy Bremner both had really strong games, and also having Jess Surgis back there. She came off the bench and went on to her right edge where she plays in the centres, and I think her coming back in and having a bit of a run last weekend will give her a lot of confidence going into the grand final.
Can you believe the re-emergence, I guess you could say, of Sam Bremner this season?
I can. I've played beside Sammy before, and she's an absolute beast. If there's anyone that can go straight into a season without doing a pre-season, it's her, because she's a workhorse. She's super fit, and I've loved watching her play footy and just go out there and absolutely kill it every week. She's a super mum, and it's good to see her get over the line for two tries on the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think she said in a press conference yesterday that the premiership is just the one thing that eludes her. So she's very excited for Sunday, and it'd be great to see Sam win a competition because, as I said, she's done everything else in the game.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be good to see if she can get that win.
Now, for the Newcastle Knights, where do you think it went wrong for them on the weekend?
I think their middle struggled a little bit. They obviously lost Caitlin Johnston earlier on in the season, and then they had Rima Butler out as well this past game, and I think she was a big loss for them because she did really well at taking their middle forward, especially in the absence of Caitlin. So having both of those girls out, I just feel like their middle struggled, to get them going forward. And then I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect between the two halves. There wasn't a lot of kind of shake thrown at the Roosters. A lot of it was Tamika just trying to create something out of nothing, getting the ball's first receiver, trying to take a short side on rather than seeing her at the back of shape. And when they did play some shape and had her at the back, I think that's when they scored a good try on their right edge. But I just would have liked to see Tamika get a bit more ball at the back where she's got a little bit of space and time, and it's just hard to defend because you don't know if she's going to run, you don't know if she's going to pass. I don't think they showed enough of that on the weekend.
Yeah, I think they also got a little bit frustrated in attack as well, chasing points. And again, like the Broncos, sort of left their run a little bit late in the game. Now, the grand final, it's on 3:55 p.m. on Sunday at Accor Stadium between the Roosters and the Sharks. How exciting is this game going to be, and what are your thoughts on this game early on in the week?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've obviously got a lot of good teammates, or former teammates in the Sharks team, so I'd love to see them come away with a win. I'd say the Roosters are probably going to go in as favourites. But I'm a bit torn. I'd love to see an upset. I'd love to see the Sharks win, but I almost feel like the Roosters, if they play like they did on the weekend and like they have the last couple of weeks, I think they'll be, hard to beat.
Well, the Roosters certainly are, I guess you could say, along with the Broncos, previously the form team of the year, having won their last 5. The Sharks, they lost their last 3 before beating the Broncos. But it's a new game, isn't it? It's a new competition. Well, it's a new game, and it's whoever turns up on the day, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything can happen. And, the Sharks have a lot of strike weapons as well, like the Roosters do, with Kiana, Anessa, Emma Tonegata at the back. They've got a lot of key players who can do a job. So I'm really looking forward to the game.
Do you think that's been a wise move by the Sharks to put Emma Tonegata back to fullback after starting the season at 5'8"?
Yeah, I do. I do think it's a good move. I know that Cassie Staples had a few games there earlier on in the season, and she did a really good job covering at the back. But I think I really like Georgia Hanaway in the 6. I think she's just, she's come from 7s, and I think she's got a really good footy sense. She plays a lot of eyes-up footy, and we've seen it a lot with some really nice try assists throughout the season. So I think that's, what the Sharks really need, and I think it's good having Emma at the back as well, just being able to find a bit of space, a bit of time, and that's where she's most dangerous, is where she's got a bit of space, because she's like to make, she can go the length and create something out of nothing.
Is the key for the Sharks, and I guess any team in a big game, the start of the game and get off to a good start?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, whoever starts the strongest, I think will go close to winning. So yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it should be great. As you said, you're a little bit torn in who you'll be going for, but do you have a tip at all?
I'm going to say the Roosters.
And would you have a score prediction and maybe a first try scorer as well?
Ooh, let's say first try scorer, Jess Surgis.
Yeah.
And I reckon the score, it'll be close, but maybe 24-16. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, look, it's going to be a cracker of a game. I do think that the Roosters will get the win as well, and they may put on about 24 points as well. So,
nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cracker of a game. Now, just quickly, the NRLW Dally M Team of the Year nominations have come out for Dally M night tomorrow night. In all the positions. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there is a couple that I would like to get your thoughts on. The 5/8 of the year, Emma Tonegata, Gail Broughton, Zahara Temura. Who's your pick in that one?
To be honest, I reckon Zahara had a great year. Although they lost a lot of games, like they didn't make the finals, I thought that they played a lot of good footy and were probably a bit unlucky with a couple of their losses. But, I think she had a really strong season. So I'm going to go with Z. I don't know if she'll win, but that's just my thought.
No, that's fair enough. Another interesting one is the fullback of the year, Abby Church, Tamika Upton and Tegan Berry. Who do you think deserves that award?
Oh, that's a hard one. All 3 girls were outstanding. I'd probably have to say Tamika, though. I just think she's a level above everyone else, to be honest. She's a freak. But, all 3 had really good seasons. We saw some outstanding individual stuff by Tegan throughout the year. So, that's a tricky one, but I'm going to go with Meeks. Yeah,
that's fair enough. I'll go for Abby Church in that one. She had a great year leading that side around the Parramatta Eels side, and sort of reminds me of Clint Gutherson a little bit, just in and around everything, and that great try line defence. And one that really surprised me was actually the Rookie of the Year. Evie Jones, Casey Ray, and Natasha Penatani are the nominations.
Oh, interesting. I haven't actually seen any of these, so these are interesting. I'd say maybe Casey Ray. I think she did pretty well down at the Dragons. She got a lot of game time, which was good for her. So, I'd say Casey.
I'm actually very, very surprised that Rory Owen from the Parramatta Eels didn't get a nomination.
You're right.
She got the RLPA NRLW Player of the Year.
She should have got a start for sure. She did really well. Yeah, she had a great season.
That's for sure. Well, that's just a couple of them. I'll let you have a look at those ones before the awards are announced. But Kiana Takairangi, thank you very much for joining me today on the podcast and giving me a review and a preview of the NRLW. And then maybe we could catch up next week and review the NRLW Grand Final.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Troy. Enjoy the games.
Will do. Enjoy the footy.
Will do.
Hello, Paracave podcast listeners. My name is Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty and long-term sponsor of the Paracave podcast. If you're looking to sell your property or buy, or just curious to know what your property is worth in today's market, give me a call today on 0421 588 445.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. See you next time.